Miss Rosalind Franklin was a British PhD chemist who worked on the structure of DNA, pioneering the art of X-ray diffraction. To begin, we will go over the history that shaped her future, challenges she faced, the work she created, and her impact on our understanding of the world.
In order to understand the work someone produces, you first need to understand the creation of their life. Rosalind Elise Franklin was born July 25, 1920, into a Jewish family living in Notting Hill, London, England. Her brilliance was noticed very early on. Her decision to become a scientist was decided at the age of 15. Her determination and consistency carried her throughout her successful career.
Going off to college in 1938, she chose to attend Newnham College at Cambridge University to study chemistry. This led to her being second-class honors, earning her bachelor's degree in 1941. After this, she went off to do research for her PhD. Her thesis was called Physical Chemistry of Solid Organic Colloids with Special Reference to Coal. This led to the development of better gas masks for the British during World War II.
The next step in her life may be one of the most important. In 1951, she went to King's College to study the structure of DNA. This next step didn't necessarily go smoothly. Although she made huge strides with her research, it was often undervalued due to sexism and anti-Semitism in her male-dominated workplace. She was often isolated and mistaken for an assistant. Most importantly, she ran into communication and collaboration issues. These setbacks ended up costing her credit for one of the most famous pictures of DNA, and the only one of its kind at the time.
In 1952, after 100 hours of a small DNA fiber being struck by an X-ray beam, she captured Photo 51, a clear picture of an X-ray diffraction pattern of DNA. This photo was enough to substantially help the understanding of the blueprint for life, the B strand of DNA. This structure she had found was the answer to grasping how genetic information is transferred from one generation to the next. Rosalind was working on analyzing the structure aided by PhD student Raymond Gosling. As the two's relationship began to diminish, Gosling decided to pass Rosalind's discovery on to another doctor in the field, which eventually found itself in the hands of James Watson and Francis Crick, who were also racing to discover the structure of DNA at the rival Cavendish lab.
Shortly after Photo 51 fell into their hands, they quickly came up with the correct structure: two helicoidal strands opposite of each other with bases holding them together like a ladder. Despite this, Franklin still published her own work, and her work was pushed to the bottom, Watson and Crick taking the credit. Rosalind was diagnosed with ovarian cancer in 1956, and she died in 1958 at the age of 37. 4 years later, a Nobel Prize was given to Dr. Watson and Dr. Crick. It wasn't until many years later that the truth came out. She's now recognized for her amazing work, even though she isn't here to see it.
I eventually want to go into wildlife research. So to me, learning about Rosalind's findings and setbacks due to being a woman in a male-dominated field makes me really consider how equality for any diversity of background or gender needs to be respected. If a discovery is made and published, and this then helps you realize or expand your own research that you have been working on, the person needs to be credited for that helpful discovery.
This gives a different view on what science could be. With or without credit, discoveries and progress are made. It also takes several views to create a full image. My role in science will be the betterment of humankind whether or not I get the award. I'm undecided in what exact career in science I will be pursuing, but Rosalind's determination showed there is little that can stand in your way if you truly want something.